guys, you know, they have huge.
I love how you just looked at him.
Alright. Hey, how's everybody doing out here? I'm Jeremy. This is Eric. Jose.
How's it going?
Jocelyn.
Yep. And today we're back with another episode of the Plan Podcast. Like we just said again, today we have a special guest, Jocelyn, joining us. And before we get started, we just want to thank everybody for tuning in to the last episode. We appreciate all the support. We tried our best to do the most advertising that we could to let everybody know about the podcast. We're still getting used to it. We're still getting things up. We just got some shorts sent to us by our cameraman Eric, so we appreciate that. We'll have that all up soon.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, welcome back to another episode. And before we get dived into any of these topics, like we always do in the beginning, we always want to talk about just checking on each other, like how we doing mentally, physically, spiritually, and so forth. So we want to start with we'll start with our guest, Jocelyn. Start with
I mean, hey, ladies first, right? There we go.
It's okay. We're in new times. I'm good overall.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tired, but good. Yeah. Just tired, but good because I do a lot of work.
You mind like telling everybody a little bit about yourself? Like we already know you, but everybody out there.
So, I'm the youngest of 6. I'm a single mom. I have a 6-year-old daughter, and I have her right now just in gymnastics. She's done other sports, and right now she's really advancing in gymnastics, so she's been invited to try out for pre-classes to prep them for competition.
Oh, wow.
So,
nice.
Very excited about that.
Future Olympian in the sights, huh?
Yeah, if anybody wants to donate.
Yep.
But I have 2 jobs. I work full-time in a factory. We make adhesives. So it's adhesives, construction, cars, food packaging, so different kinds. And then my part-time is a PSP, which is similar to a CNA. And it's basically like a retirement home, but with people with profound disabilities.
Nice. Where do you work at?
It used to be called Little Angels, and everybody in Elgin, that's how they know it.
Mm.
But they merged with another company, so now it's called Markland.
Markland. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nice. Any hobbies that you enjoy?
I do like doing practicing the gymnastics with my daughter, so I'll do cartwheels with her or other little stunts that I can still do. I used to love drawing and painting. I like listening to music, and occasionally I in the summertime, not right now because it's too cold for me, I've gone bike riding, and I like doing that. So
Nice.
yeah, I like being outside.
Mm-hmm.
When the weather is good.
Nice. Yeah.
I was gonna say Illinois over here. Can't even get that.
Yeah.
Damn.
So, yeah.
That's it. Awesome. So I'll pass it to Jose then.
Yeah. Well, just like on the first episode, I mean, Jose, that's my name, so I'm pretty. But yeah, no, I mean everything's going good. Funny enough, actually. Well, not really funny enough, but interestingly enough, at my other job, the career that I've been, wanting to get, they added an additional extra day now. So now instead of 2 days, now I'm working 3 days. So it's good. I mean, finally getting like, oh, thank you. I would say there should be a button for an applause right here. So we'll slowly get there. So we'll slowly get there.
All right, iCarly.
Oh yeah, I forgot about iCarly. So, but yeah, so they gave me an extra day now. So they're they're already noticing all like the hard work that I'm going into, like the hard work and dedication. So it's I'm honestly very happy about that. They're already noticing that I really want to give it my all. So hopefully in the next couple of months I should be getting a bit more days or eventually get promoted full time. So I mean that's just going good. Another funny thing too is I was supposed to go skydiving last weekend. I don't know if I told you guys that.
Soon the weather wasn't up
And
to...
fortunately, Mother Nature said, nope, you're not skydiving
Not today,
tonight. So,
not today.
so I was a bit bummed out because I mean it's definitely something I've always wanted to do, especially just to complete my bucket list. I mean, there's a bunch of other things I know. One of them that I've already done, especially with you two. So, especially with what Jeremy's wearing with us taking that Los Angeles trip and went all the way to the Hollywood sign.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. So, and I mean, I was so happy and I was so happy about that. But good thing is I am rescheduling it though. So I'm skydiving November 5th, which is in 2 weeks from now. So I mean, we'll see how that goes. So I mean, just excited. So nothing but happiness and blessings right now. So
Nice, man. Always good to hear.
exactly.
So, pass it to you, Eric. How you been doing?
I've been doing good, man. Well, honestly, there's some ups and downs, and that's how life is.
Yeah.
Right now my grandfather's honestly in the hospital. It's always kind of just a little not the best situation to be right now. He's keeping on, but that's something that we always just gotta keep check on and everything. I try to visit him whenever we can. Last month I lost my grandmother, so it's something I've been really trying to keep up to date with. Trying to visit him and all that. But he's fighting. He's doing good right now. He's in a rehab facility, technically, but he goes in and out of the hospital. So, but yeah, like I said, it's just something that happens in life, man. But another thing, positive actually, I got accepted into paramedic school. Finally got accepted. Thank you. Appreciate the 10 plus. There you go.
There we go.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, but it's been a struggle, honestly, because it's like months prior to preparing, and it's only like for some programs once a year. So if you missed out on one program, you have to wait a whole year for it. So I'm glad to finally get a chance to go into paramedic program. So that's just me for right now. But other than that,
Hey, we're all proud of you, man. I remember in the last episode we were all saying, you're like, yeah, you're gonna get into it, and look at that, you got into it. So.
Yeah, that was the main thing. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Hey, proud of you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, definitely good. Congrats, man.
Thanks.
Alright, so guess that leaves me, the host. I would have to say it's the same as Eric, like a few ups and downs. Like ain't gonna lie, like school's been kicking my ass a little bit lately. Like just with a bunch of assignments.
Yeah.
I just feel like sometimes it's just professors, like they just kind of abuse their authority with like all the assignments that they
A
have
lot of
on you.
homework they
Yeah,
got
like
going.
unnecessary assignments.
Let me guess, they hit you with them discussion boards.
No, the discussion boards, like those are easy. Like those are simple. Like you just gotta reply back to a few people, write your own like opinion. But I'm talking about like some of them just assign like too many chapter homeworks.
Think of it this way. In work, you're going to have people like that.
Yeah.
You're going to have people trying to shove their work onto you. That's how it is at my full-time job. There's times where they're like, oh, Jocelyn, do this, Jocelyn, do that. Oh, help out over here. Oh, help out over there. And sometimes I do it, and other times I do catch an attitude because it's like you have other people who can do that. Or, you know what, like, technically my job description isn't that. Yes, I know how to do it, but it's really not my responsibility to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's good.
So, I mean, you can kind of think of it that way, like work or school, like you're going to have people who try to push more onto you.
Right.
And sometimes you'll see where they single it out to just you or one other person than everybody.
I mean, I can definitely relate to that. I mean, especially in Roosevelt, man, I remember every assignment was just papers, like write papers. Like sometimes even like 3 or 4 or 5 pages, and then I'm just like, oh my god, like why am I writing so much papers? And especially in the field that I'm going into, where I have to annotate everything that I do, or just writing reports, or even reviewing reports. It's just like Jocelyn said, it's just preparing me for it. So I mean, think about it like that. So
yeah, I think just every job in general is always gonna have you doing something. Every job has the little things that you're not really wanting to do, like paperwork. All that sort of stuff. It's just there's always going to be some things in the job that is going to be like mind-numbingly boring. But apart from that, you got to stay focused on the actual goal. That's just some little tasks you have to do. The main point is the career, the job that you're kind of pursuing.
And don't let them take advantage of you if you're good at your job.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because the last clinic I worked at, I was a medical assistant at a kidney specialist.
Yeah.
And I was doing also prior authorizations for medication, procedures. I was calling in the medication. I was, rooming the patients. I was also translating. I was doing like a lot of stuff when really my job was only to take the patient to the room, take their vital signs, let the doctor know, what they're there for, and then that's it. But I was doing receptionist, I was helping out with billing, I was, and it wasn't just me, it was some of the other medical assistants there too, that they were making us do more than what we were getting paid for.
Nice.
I appreciate that. That definitely gives me a different perspective of it. But yeah, it's just be days where it gets to you, you're like, dang, like I was hoping for an easy day today at school, but yeah.
Nothing's ever easy, my friend. I learned that.
Yeah, but yeah, another thing that is like going good, I officially like really started working at my second job as a respite worker. So what I do is I have clients which are usually like kids between like the ages of I think like 5 to like teenage, like 16 or 17. And right now I'm working with the 8-year-old. I should be having more clients coming in soon, but right now I'm doing that. That's good. Really, I'm just kind of just like a mentor to them, like a big brother. I take them out, just talk to them, just just kind of just be there for them. So that's a good thing right now. And it's going good. It's humbling because a lot of these kids usually they come from like messed up backgrounds or like bad things happen to them, so it kind of like humbles you, so it's like when you think like you're having a bad day, you kind of like think about them and you're like it's not really that bad then, so that's a good thing going right now. Mentally doing good, physically doing good, been getting more and more back into the gym. So
me too.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah, definitely been.
Gotta lose those carnitas and everything.
Yeah.
So.
Especially holidays coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, don't even remind me.
Yeah.
Bulk season.
Bulk season. I don't know. I think like just the winter time in general is the best time to like just stay in the gym, so you're ready for like the summer and everything. Well, if you're trying to like get that summer vibe or like look good.
But it's so hard in the winter because all the good food.
The holidays, yeah.
So you know what I hate about that, especially with like kind of like going to the gym and during that time, it's the people that just go in the gym to hit them with the New Year, New Me stuff. Because it's like hold on, let me tell you, just the amount of times I've seen so many people at the gym in January, and I'm like, who the hell is you? Like I've never seen you before, and then it's just like, what?
So everybody just wants to try new things and try to better themselves, but unfortunately,
the majority of those people don't stay.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. It really is hard to be committed to do it.
Yeah, big time.
So.
Yeah, you see them for that good week, and then the next week, they're like, yo, what happened to you? You're doing good and everything. But no, it's like, I wouldn't lie and say, like, I am that person sometimes.
Me too.
But it's like, I really feel like this time around, like, I'm going to really stick to it, because, it's like, it's been making me feel real good, and it's like, just the benefits that come with it. Like, it helps you mentally, helps you physically.
Very much so.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, just going to the gym in general is just, honestly, it's just helps me like get rid of like all like the stress, like everything that's just going on. It's just me, just lifting weights, just pushing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And especially what I like about my gym is they have a punching bag, so sometimes it's like I've just let out the frustrations and anger just punching the bag. Poor bag though, didn't deserve that, but it's.
That's what it's there for.
Exactly.
It's there for.
Exactly.
Yeah, other than that, everything's been good. So yeah, it's good to see that everybody's doing good and just continue to become better.
I mean, I'm just proud that all of us are doing something in our careers. So
Yeah.
that's honestly the beautiful thing about it. So
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I just want we can pinpoint the next topics, and a lot of these topics definitely have to like do with you. And since you did like mention in the beginning, like you are a single mom, and you know, like I do have to commend you for that. Like you know, definitely appreciate you. You know, and I know like that's a lot when you're like a single mom. You know, I know you have like family support, but it's nothing like having like the significant other or the male, you know, to pick up some of the slack. But just speaking on that, like the first question I want to ask is like, what's life like being a single mother?
It is tiring, first of all. It could be overwhelming. Sometimes you feel guilty. Yeah. I know I do, you know, because I was basically like a single mother before she was born, but I was still trying to like hold it together to make it work, you know. It was probably a little bit before she turned 2 or a little after she turned 2 that I just said, you know what, like it's not worth it. Like the problems are just not worth it. Like for her to grow up in that kind of environment, seeing us argue or stuff like that, I'm like, it's not worth it. I didn't grow up with that. I had both my parents. And I didn't always have my family support, I guess you can say, you know. But I'm not mad about it because I feel like that pushed me to want to try harder for her and not just give up. So, but now I do. So my daughter hangs out a lot at my sister's house. She has a son who's the same age as my daughter. And they're growing up more like siblings than cousins because, I mean, they fight with each other and then they're like, don't yell at her, don't yell at him, you know. Yeah, so it's not always easy, but definitely when they, you know, hug you or, you know, tell you, oh, mommy, I love you, like, it makes it worth it. And just recently, I don't know where my daughter got it from, because she always used to tell me, oh, mommy, I love you so much. And then the other day she hit me with, I love you a little bit more than a little. So I was like, so you don't love me so much no more? She's like, I do, a little bit more.
Yeah, I feel like that's always the beautiful thing, especially with kids, especially just when they tell you like, oh, like, mom, I love you, or
yeah.
I mean, that's why I always tell everybody, you know, just always tell your mom just how much you mean the world to them, because it's just, I mean, it's definitely something. I mean, it's just as she mentioned, it's very uplifting, and you know, I mean, not that I'm trying to bring it up to the sad point, but you know, a lot of people don't even have mothers, so it's like you never know. I mean, some of them, you know, our mothers could, you know, be gone, like in the next day. So you know, always make sure to just tell your mom, like, hey, like.
Or your dad, because there are some good single fathers out there.
Oh yeah,
I do know. I do have a few friends that are basically the main provider of their kids, and I'd be looking at them like, why couldn't I find me a you? You know? But I mean, it goes both ways. There's good dads and there's bad moms. So it's not just a one-sided thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think that's the main problem. Like a lot of people try to just single out. Like when you see one bad parent, one single, you internally they tend like categorize the whole entire sort of like spectrum. Oh, all single mothers are bad. All single fathers are bad.
Or better,
Yeah, because I think it's human nature at the end. You know, we try to have that survival instinct of having just like, you know, that happened to me once. I don't want it to happen again.
And I feel like usually people who have that mentality are the ones that are dealing with that kind of in that scenario. Because I do have a coworker who just literally feels like every woman is just bad and not worth it because his ex-wife cheated on him.
Yeah.
You know, and I told him one time, like, you can't have that mentality all the time because not every girl is going to treat you the same way. Like, now, if you're treating them that way, then you're going to get that kind of, you know, result.
Yeah.
I'm like, but you can't go into the world with the same mentality, oh, this person did me wrong, everybody else is going to do me the same way.
Right. Yeah, right. For sure.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, you know, one bad apple ruins it for the other.
No. Well, it's like my dad. I mean, my dad already passed away, but my mom was his second marriage. His first wife cheated on him. They had 2 kids, and he still, you know, went on to take care of them and the third one, and then married my mom, and then had all of us, but he always still took care of his other kids. So it's like, you know, he didn't have that mentality like my coworker, like, oh no, everybody's just bad. Like, no, you're just picking the wrong ones.
Yeah.
Isn't that all of us?
Literally too. The time will come. That's all I can just say. The time will come. You know.
So when you mentioned in this question, you said like you feel guilty sometimes. Like, could you like elaborate on that more? Like, what do you mean by that?
Well, because I feel guilty because my daughter does sometimes. She's asked it when she was younger, and she recently started asking again because she's in school, she's in sports. She sees her friends have both parents. Maybe not every day, but sometimes she sees both parents show up. So she's made comments like, I don't have a dad. Or why doesn't my dad like me or love me or talk to me? And I can't really talk to her about it yet because she's not, you know, she's still little. She doesn't really understand. She might take it the wrong way or in a different way. You know, like, you can only say so many things to them that they'll actually understand. So, like, it's a conversation for me and her when she gets older. And she said it to my brother-in-law, my sister's husband, like, oh, can you be my pretend dad? You know, because I don't have a dad. And obviously that hurts me, and when they told me about it. But it makes you feel guilty because it's not so much that me and him are not together, but like, he couldn't put his, you know, our problems to the side to at least, you know, have a relationship with her.
Yeah.
So that's why it does make me feel guilty sometimes.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like that's always the saddest part about it is just, I mean, you know, you really can't tell them. It's just because it's just like you said, they're at such a young age where they're just not gonna understand it. So
kids have a simple mind and they only know like the facts about it. They don't understand it because they don't have that experience.
Yeah. So it's definitely a conversation for when she gets older. But right now, I just can't really get into details with it for her to understand it. It's not because of you. It's me and him had, you know, our own problems. But if I tell her, like, you know, that, she's just going to automatically think, so he doesn't love you and he doesn't love me. You know, like, she's just going to merge it onto her. Like, no. Yeah.
That might honestly cause problems for them. Like, if it's not handled correctly.
Exactly. So I just feel like as she gets older, it's a conversation. But not right now.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. So, as we were also talking about in that topic, like, you know, like, bad relationships, people cheating on each other, this and that, but it's like, I gotta ask in this next question, like, if you do it or you don't, like, how is your dating life, like, being a single mother?
I actually, no, I'm not dating. I have had a few people try to approach me with that, but some of those people were already like a no off the back just because they weren't looking for something serious and they were already in a relationship. So it's like, no thank you, that's too messy. And I don't know, just right now with her being her age, I don't really feel comfortable just dating. Like, if I'm gonna date somebody, I really want to be invested in the person and them invested in us, because I don't want to have her seeing one guy, then 2 months later another guy, and then, you know, like, I just don't want her to grow up seeing that. So I feel like some of the guys that try to approach me in that don't understand that. Like, to them it's just like, oh, you know, I'm just a friend or whatever. Like, no, my daughter can be a little smarter than what I give her credit for, and she's very nosy, so no. No, and with everything going on in the world, like, it's people you just never know, and I'm just more invested in her and myself because I have my own things that I want to work on myself before I, you know, getting in a relationship and getting her mixed into it. Like, she already thinks her dad doesn't love her, why would I bring someone else and then create a bond with her and then it doesn't work out and then it's the same thing for her. It's gonna be like, oh, another person left, walked out of my life. So it's why I'm not really dating.
Yeah. Is there a certain point where you think that you feel like you would be ready to date outside?
To be honest, I don't know. I've asked myself that question, and I've had friends tell me like, you need to, you're a good mom, you do this, you do that, and I'm just like, I don't know, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if she's ready for that. So
I said, the time will come. It's just time and patience, and there's a saying, the person could be the one for you, but just not at the right time.
Yeah. I've definitely heard that. I believe that. But I also know, time doesn't wait for nobody.
Yeah.
So that's the bad thing, because, you can be meant for somebody, but if the other person is also not willing to try, then you guys are both letting that time pass you by, and then eventually the other person gets tired of waiting.
Yeah.
Right.
So... yeah, time doesn't wait for nobody.
Yeah.
Time is a precious thing.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry, just to go off kind of on that sort of thing. I guess there's some questions dating wise. I think it's very important because it's always because it's not just about single mothers too. It's also about
in general.
In general, yeah. What's your opinion about being upfront with telling if you're in the dating world? Being upfront with telling that other person, when would you tell them that you're a mother? Would you tell them at the beginning, just straightforward, or do you think you would be more later on?
Me personally, that's the first thing when I know they're trying to, approach me in that way is it's usually been people that already know I'm a kid, that I have a kid. But if it was some stranger who's like, oh my god, trying to talk to me and I'm at the grocery store type of stuff, or best scenario, I actually had this happen to me. I was pumping gas. I didn't have my kid with me. I was on my way to go pick her up, and a guy approached me offering to pay for my gas, but he wanted my number and everything. First thing I said is sorry, I have a kid. Most people will probably lie oh, I have a boyfriend. No, I just said straight up, I have a kid.
Yeah. It's either that or it's just I'm married. It's either that.
Hey, which one?
Nowadays she a proud mom. She got
that's. I mean, because if I did like somebody and was ready in that scenario, why would I hide that?
Right.
So if someone wants to date me and I want to date somebody, I come with a kid. I come with a whole package.
Yeah.
And it's not an easy one. It's not a cheap one because I have her in activities.
Yeah.
So, that's the first thing I say is I have a kid. I have responsibilities. My kid always gonna come.
Right.
Yeah.
My kid comes before me, so she definitely gonna come before you. Something that you just have to let them know up front.
Yeah. Because I also think it's unfair for the other person too.
Yeah.
If you keep something a secret and they do end up liking you a lot, it's all of a sudden they're not ready. Maybe they're not ready. It's not a bad thing to not.
Right.
And then there's people who also don't want to have kids, which is not a bad thing either.
Yeah.
Having kids is a big responsibility, so there's nothing wrong with it, but it's something that definitely should be discussed up front.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, adding on to that, have you you told multiple guys up front yeah, I have a kid, have you once you told them that, have you ever had them just oh, I'm out of here, nah, I'm good, or they
shockingly
just
no, I still have them still trying to talk to me, and I'm just
let me guess, they hit you with the, I'm gonna be a step there.
Basically.
No, because see, that was another question I was gonna ask. Is I just feel do you think from because obviously with us do you think in the guy's perspective, do you think that's more of a turn off for most men in general, or?
No, I just I feel some guys are more once you tell them that you have a kid, it's gonna click on them. That's a responsibility.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're smart and if they really want to approach the person, obviously they're still gonna intend to. But if they're like childish or whatever, they might still try. But you're gonna be able to tell right away that they're more interested in you than you and your kid.
Right.
So yeah.
Like, do you still like give guys a chance, like even if like they do like want to try it, or are you just really like, you know, like you got to be like all in, like you said, like you want like committed, like would you give them like a chance to at least try?
I don't know. Like, I guess it depends. It probably just depends in the moment. Because, like I said, I'm still working on myself, too. Mm-hmm. I have my own insecurities and, you know, my own things that I want to work on. Because, you know, I can have an attitude. And, you know, I don't tell nobody. And, like, someone comes at me the wrong way, I'm going to speak up. I'm not going to stay quiet. I'm not going to let no one just walk over me. Mm-hmm. So, I have my own things that I want to work on. And... I guess it would probably depend on how they approach me, I guess, maybe. Yeah. Like, maybe their confidence, their, you know, trying to ensure me, like, yeah, your kid, like, it doesn't matter to me, like, you know, if I feel like you're just playing or trying to have, like, a little good time or a temporary time, I'm not going to waste my time on that.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, just playing out a simple, like, do you want more children?
Before I had my daughter, I used to say I wanted at least 2-3 kids tops. But right now, with the pregnancy experience that I had, and obviously being a single mother now, it's really hard to like 100% say yes. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I would want another kid because my kid even says it all the time that she wants a brother or a sister. But I know what it is to raise one on my own. So I feel like it would be selfish of me to have another kid and not have their father involved. Right. So to me, I can't fully 100% say, yeah, I want another kid. Like, no, I got to be sure that, you know, this one is going to work.
Right.
But it's like, but in that sense, like, how would you know? You know what I mean? Like, are you just like basing it off like what's already happened? Like, you know, like when you're saying like, you know, like I wouldn't want to bring another kid in, and it's like that same scenario repeats itself. It's like,
well, obviously, I would have to try to make a better judgment than what I did the first time, and because I mean, I've always said even if I ever did have another kid and it didn't work out, as long as that other person was more still involved, then I'm fine with it. Yeah. But if I have another person the same as my daughter's dad, then that's the problem. Because then I'm not really, like, picking it out correctly. I'm doing the same thing, you know, just picking out the same type of guy, basically. Yeah. Which, like I said, I know that not everybody is the same. I know that there are some good guys out there. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Appreciate it. So that also brings like into the other topic, like, has your perspective and life changed since having your daughter?
My daughter reminds me a lot of me when I was her age. I honestly feel like my daughter came to help me grieve through my dad's loss. I feel like that was one of the main reasons I did have her, that I chose to keep, you know, to keep her, basically. My way of thinking does change, because now I gotta think not just about me, but of her. So I do have life insurance on myself. I do have my brother and my sister as beneficiaries, basically. Like, if something happens to me and she's still underage, they're the ones who are taking care of her. I've said that I don't want a funeral. Just burn me, have my ashes to my daughter. If she wants a necklace with me, do that. I'm like, don't do nothing like funeral or church ceremony, none of that. I'm like, because I want all the money that I'm paying for that life insurance to go to her, to any expenses she has. I'm like, if y'all want to do a wake, do it at the house. Yeah. I'm like, I prefer not to because I'm going to hunt all of y'all. But I'm like, at the end of the day, y'all can do whatever y'all want. I'm gonna be gone. So
Funerals ain't cheap.
they're not. Trust me, I know.
Nope.
Yeah, not at all, man. Yeah, I definitely have to commend you for like doing the life insurance because I know there's like millions around the world like who don't even have it. And it's
Yeah.
like when something does happen to them, it's like you're leaving your kid with like either like debt that you didn't pay off, or
Yeah.
like you're just leaving them out here like with nothing. You know.
Yeah, and she also has. Earlier this year, I opened up her own savings account, so I put money in that every check, and then obviously I pay my life insurance. So
Okay.
yeah.
No,
That's
good.
smart, actually.
Yeah, smart.
That's
So
really,
it's
really
like
smart.
So you really want to teach her early then about like just financial and.
Well, yeah. I mean, So I didn't have a 15. You know, like most traditional Mexicans. I'm gonna give her the option. You want a big party, or you want a car? Obviously, it's not gonna be like no brand new year car or whatever. But she's gonna get those options.
Yeah.
Or do you want to travel somewhere?
Mm.
So 3 options. You pick what you want.
Yeah.
You know, and then the money that I'm putting in her savings, I'm not really gonna tell her until like she either goes to college or after. If she goes to college, I'm gonna be like, all right, that's the money you're gonna get after you graduate. That's some, or you know, if she gets her own apartment for like during school or stuff like that, then that could be money that can help her throughout her college.
Yeah.
But if she doesn't want to go to college and she does some trade school or just starts from the bottom at some company, that's fine too. It's money that I will help her with. Not gonna give it to her all at once because we all been young before.
Yeah.
She gonna blow through that right away.
Man.
So I am gonna try to encourage her though to try to take an accounting class in high school. I wish I did, but just so you know, so she has an idea because you just never know.
Yeah, nice.
No, it's good. Definitely send her up for success early because I know
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
No, that's good, though.
you know, a lot of us like sitting here, it's like we kind of have to learn like on our own.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
or learn from somebody else.
Yeah, and I mean, I like what you said, though. It's just, you know, I mean, you said it as well that you wish you could have taken an accounting class. Same here, too. I mean,
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, in high school, business class, I didn't really pay attention.
Yeah.
So,
I like that you're giving her the option, like how you said, like with the quince and the 15. You know, it's like another thing. It's not cheap, but you know, you're giving her that option. You know, you could be like the controlling mom that says like, oh, you're not having a 15. That's too expensive. That's
Yep.
just a waste of money. Or
You know,
something. But-
neither me or my sisters had one,
Mm.
and my mom wanted to make me one because I was the youngest, so she's like, "This is my last chance,"
Right.
type of thing. And I was kind of rolling with it, like, okay, fine. And then I was going along with it until she said, "But we're gonna do it in Mexico," and I said, "Nope." Because she wanted to do it because of the family. All the family on both my mom and my dad's side is over there, majority. And then I'm like, man, I haven't seen them in forever. Since I was little, I don't really want to do it. So, like, that basically, like, I shut it down right there. My dad was like, okay, like, he's always gave us the option, like, whatever you want to do, supported us type of thing.
Yeah.
But my mom was kind of upset that she wasn't able to experience that with neither of her 4 girls.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just give my daughter the option. That's why I'm saving right now too, because I could use that money to help with that. That's an expense. So
Yeah.
especially with the amount, like padrinos de tortilla and padrinos of this.
and then my daughter's actually kind of girly girl, so I already know if she chooses that, she's gonna want some fancy big dress and everything. So I'm really hoping she wants the car or something.
I will say this though, if you do, and if you know she does end up having a quinceañera, please, for the love of God, don't have her main chambelán be her boyfriend, because if
I wouldn't do that.
Because I'm just speaking from experience, you know, it's like unfortunately with one of my ex-girlfriends, I just see like, you know, I'm there, but you're not together anymore.
Yeah.
So just if you got just a little pointer right there, just I mean
I wouldn't do that, but at the same
Yeah.
time, I can't not let her do that because it is her party, and I gave her the option of it. And I mean, it's something she's gonna have to learn either way. Because how many friends have you had throughout the years that you're not friends with no more?
Absolutely.
So I mean, at least she could cherish like, oh, at that time these were my friends. That was, you know, like her good memories with that.
True.
At least. Because it'd be unfair of me to say, okay, yeah, you can have one, but no, he ain't gonna be.
Well, it's just like, I just think about it like that because I'm just like, wow, like, I'm literally in that picture right there. So it's like, you know, it's a special moment and they're like, oh my God.
But it's the same thing with like prom, homecoming.
Oh, yeah. Right.
I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah, that too, yeah.
Yeah, make you look back like, damn, I was with her.
Exactly. No, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No.
You know, something I always laugh about quinceañera videos is, it's just, isn't it funny when you're just like eating and then there's like the camera crew just like recording, you're just like eating stuff in your face.
Yeah, like, can you not, like.
No, like the funniest thing, like, I mean, me and my best friend, we would always, like right over here by Milk Pail, they would always have like every quinceañera party every single Saturday. We would always just go in there and
Or La Movida.
Oh yeah, Movida too. So I would always tell them, be like, you know, the camera crew is just like filming us, and we're just like, hey, what's up? And we're just like, dude, I don't even think they even know that we're here. So that's what I'm telling you. It's just so hilarious. So, but
that's just like at a wedding. They do that at a wedding too. Like a few weeks ago when I went to Abraham and Leslie's house, they made a movie out of like their wedding. Oh, yeah. And you could just see like in the recordings like people eating or people just randomly looking up at the camera.
Yeah.
Not even knowing like they're being recorded. They don't even know what to do. They're just like
Yeah, I feel like that's always like the awkward part about it. You're just like eating, like imagine you're just like stuffing your face or you're just like choking or something. You're just like catching you right there.
So. They get bright light too that's just shining at you. It's like, oh shit, what the fuck?
Yeah. But no, definitely like that that's good. All that's good. I think like I said before, like we even started recording, I think like I was glad that like we have like a female like coming on, like being our guest, because the next question I wanted to ask is like what advice would you give to like men, like us as single men who already have kids, or like, you know, who are not even like in their kids' life, like what advice like would you give?
I don't know, like, to men?
Yeah.
Men don't listen to girls.
I'm gonna say emphasis right there. Men.
Too smart, man.
I think I do a good job. Yeah. I think I listen well, right?
I mean, I've always said I feel like it has to be communication on both sides. If there's no communication on both sides, it's not gonna work. And both sides need to understand each other's situations. So like for me, if it's easy to understand if the guy has a kid also. Why? Because I have a kid. Obviously, I wouldn't encourage a guy not to be involved in his kid's life. But you always, it's just communication and understanding whether you're having an up moment, a down moment, because sometimes people change when they're at the bottom, you know, and sometimes people know how to keep it together still at the bottom. Sometimes they close up or distance themselves, but if the other person doesn't know that, then they have to be able to communicate that, so when that scenario does happen, they know how to approach it without coming off too bad or making more problems bigger than what they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
So communication is
definitely
yeah.
So you're saying communication will basically get us through anything?
As long as both people are open to having good communication, yeah. You can't have communication if the other person's not willing to listen or communicate back.
Yeah. And I think sticking to that communication, not just saying, oh yeah, I want to do this, and then going and doing something completely different. It'll actually speak louder than words too.
Yep. So
it's always, something that you have to keep in mind. Like, at least you know what you're expecting, and if something were to happen, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, I tend to want to be alone when I'm bothered. So if I date somebody, that's something I gotta let them know. Like, if I'm bothered, if I'm mad at you, leave me alone for a bit. Let me calm down.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not gonna not talk to you for like 3 weeks, you know? Because then what the other person's just gonna assume, oh, well, then she's just done with me. Like, we're done, you know? So it's just, one, understanding how we react in bad scenarios, or what we're willing to, when we're like kind of asking for help without asking for help. You know, because I mean, that's what it really is. Sometimes you're like, okay, she's mad, let me leave her alone for today, tomorrow
Yes.
maybe.
Yeah.
And then by the the third day, it's like, okay, let's talk. You calm down, you had time to think, I've had time to think, like, let's talk. So you can't talk with somebody if the other person's just not willing to listen or to communicate.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, like I'm that type of guy where it's like I like to cheer people up, like when they're mad or something. So it's like, in that sense, like, what would you like tell me then? Like, you still would just like, hey. Like,
No, sometimes we have to understand that we're all different.
Mm-hmm.
We all cope differently.
Yeah.
We all work through things differently. So it's fine that you want to cheer somebody up when they're upset, but you also got to let that person kind of deal with it themselves. Like I said, you can let them be mad, but then not too long, because if they're still not talking to you by, like, let's say the third day, you can slowly kind of approach yourself in there, but not full on, like, because then you're just going to get them more mad. Like, that's not the way they process things, so you don't want to full on go on them that way.
Like, you just don't want to add more fuel to the fire.
Right.
So basically, I'm gonna be sleeping on the couch.
Yeah. I guess so, buddy. So.
Get a comfortable couch.
Yeah, and see, that's always like the main issue, especially with guys, though, is that we just don't, I can say this like wholeheartedly. Us guys, we always say like, women, it's just, that's just what we always say, because we always say like, we never understand it, but we can't live without them. It's like
same thing with us. It's like, oh, guys.
Right. So it's like in that scenario too, because it could also be the same thing with guys too. Like with guys. Because, I'll be honest, like, I'm pretty sure, us three we can relate too. There are some moments where, I could be like, we could be frustrated. We're just like, leave me alone. I don't want to talk. You know what I mean? So sometimes they'll, like, the woman will, like, want to be like, no, like, let's talk about it now. I'll be like, no, like, I don't want to talk about it. And next thing you know, they're just like, oh my God, now you're the bad guy and this and that. So it's like vice versa, So I feel like, it's just like you say, we just have to communicate, understand each other.
Yeah, and just understand how, each individual reacts to things, or how long it takes them to process something before they can actually be on a good level-headed mind to have that communication. Yeah. Or else it's just going in one ear, out the other.
Yeah. Okay. At a certain point, it's more like you'll know that person well enough to know how to deal with that situation.
Yeah.
She's mad. I'm gonna go buy her some chocolates. Everybody like that's
basically, yeah, like basically whether it's chocolates, flowers, or just spending time together. Because some girls do like the whole buy me gifts. Yeah. Some girls prefer just stay at home, watch a movie on the couch. Like some quality time. So you gotta same thing with guys. I know some guys like that kind of stuff too. So like. It goes vice versa. Like, you just have to understand the other person and how they cope and how they like things, or when you're gonna ask for an apology or you're waiting for an apology. You gotta know how, like, the kind of reaction and actions that you need.
Right.
I know one thing for certain. If my significant other is mad, I'll be like, okay, cool, turn on my PS4 and just
and then she's gonna be like,
gets her more mad. The moment she hears the ding, just oh God.
But yeah, you really gotta understand that. If you don't understand that or take the time to understand that, you're always gonna come across problems.
Since we're having this conversation, I know it's not really off topic, but it has to relate to it. Do you think that's maybe why most relationships don't last nowadays, especially just because there's just no communication right there? Especially with this like topic that we're talking about. To
me, I think it's more. Everybody wants that, but don't want to put the work for it. I think that's what it is. Mm-hmm. It's so easy to say, oh, I want this. I want that old school love. Mm-hmm. But don't realize, ain't nothing perfect. Yeah. This ain't no fairy tale. You ain't gonna get, a little happy ever after.
You're not gonna get your
without having problems and working through those problems, because that's what makes it stronger and stick together. Being able to overcome, any scenario. And it doesn't mean, oh, I'm going to go cheat every weekend and then, come Monday morning, oh, I'm back, babe. That's not what it is. So it's just people, they're not willing to try anymore. And
just fully commit to it,
basically.
I think a lot of it has to do with social media, too. What we see on social media, like, I know, like, you have a lot of women and men who want to, like, get married, want that big wedding. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, like, you could get that, and it's like, when that big wedding is over, like that's when all the work has to be put in after
Mhm.
that, you know, and then that's when you see like, oh, like you weren't really built for all this, or like
Yeah.
you're not in that right mindset yet. And you know, I think like that plays a big part, like social media. I
Yeah.
think, like,
And not just that, it's also people nowadays date just to say, oh, I'm with this person, I'm with that person, without actually having a connection with each other.
Yeah.
They just want to be able to claim somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like when I told you when we were at Jack's Pumpkin Pop-Up last week. Remember I told you like a lot of you were there just taking pictures, you know,
Yeah.
fall
Yeah,
pictures,
couple.
we look
Yeah.
cute and all this.
Whole entire time after that picture was saying they probably got into an argument like, on the way back home.
Not even that, they were probably arguing on the way there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're probably like, and then they should know like, here, take this picture of me, babe. And I'm just
You know
like,
how I know? Because that's me and my daughter. Whenever we do you know I have a lot of pictures with her.
Oh my bad.
You know how many arguments we get those pictures? So, I mean, it's the same thing, whether it's a relationship with your kid or with a significant other. It's so hard to get those perfect little loving
Moments,
images without having those arguments.
Yeah.
But,
I always say this, you know, if you don't argue, do you even love each other? I always say that. So
I mean, yeah.
I think also social media just creates like this sort of insecurities about other people. You know, you'll see like cheating videos, or you'll see like you know, honestly, I don't know why, but men will start trashing women. Oh, women are doing
Or not
this,
even
or-
that, just how they
Yeah.
try to make it so much about like a girl gotta look a certain way.
Mm.
And then when their like boyfriends or whatever cheat on them, then you have like the normal people looking like, damn, if she got cheated on, why wouldn't I get cheated on? You
Yeah.
know, so all that also
Yeah,
makes it a
that's where like all those insecurities start rolling in. It's
Yeah.
like, oh man, like even like could that happen to me? Like she's a great girl, but like now I'm starting to think like that person looks, you know, you start
Yeah.
overthinking all these situations, and it's like you're like if you really stop and think and just kind of step away from all that, you
or even
talk to them too.
when you rethink all your past relationships,
Mm.
because you might not be the problem and it was the other person, but it still makes you feel like you're the problem, because you could like to yourself, you're like, okay, I did this right, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, and they still left me and cheated on me. So it makes you insecure too, because now you're like, well, am I doing something wrong? Do I look wrong? You know, like, so it's the whole
yeah, and it makes you think too. It's just if you get to the next relationship, you're like, okay, I'm not gonna fuck this up like I did it on the last one. It's almost,
Right.
It's almost
and whole
nuts.
time you didn't do nothing wrong. It was the other person.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course,
So-
you know, so
Yeah. I think another thing, it's a few things too. I think one of the biggest things is like a lot of us is like missing God in our lives. Like I feel like everybody just kind of like just lingered away from that. Like I feel like if you don't believe in something, it's like, you know, those type of relationships aren't gonna last. Like you gotta have like a foundation or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more like just personal choice.
Yeah.
Like, but you know, I get what you mean. Like
Yeah.
spiritually, nobody like believes in anything.
Yeah.
I think that's a good. You know, it doesn't matter what you believe in.
Yeah.
And I think, but it's important for you to believe in something.
Something. Yeah.
But you know, like I said, like in general, like God is in a lot of religions. You know,
Sure,
like
yeah.
whatever, which one you choose or you believe in, but it's something that you tend to think more than just about yourself.
Yeah.
It's something.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely. I think another thing is too, it's like sometimes like us, like I know I probably did it before, but it's like a lot of us think like, you know, like, oh, once I get into a relationship, all my other issues will go away. And I think that's another big thing that messes up relationships too. Like you haven't addressed maybe those issues in past relationship or things that gone on in your life, like you haven't addressed them. So like you get into a relationship and all that stuff starts coming out, and now like
That's why, it's like I said, that's why you gotta work on yourself sometimes too before even getting in another relationship,
yeah.
because then you're just dragging those same insecurities or problems or
Baggage.
all that with you, and then you start comparing those problems with whatever problems you might be having, then assuming that they're on the same thing.
I think you'll always kind of have those problems, insecurities, all that baggage at the end, no matter where you're in life, but you'll be able to handle it better.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's it. So, like, since we speaking on like men and relationship with men, but last question like I gotta ask you about like when it comes to like being a single mother is like, has your perspective changed about like men?
No, because I've dated 3 different guys, and they're all been different. I can't blame them whether it's on race or anything like that, because they've not all been the same race or the same age or time in my life or whatever. And no, it doesn't, because like I also have good friends that have a better mentality, more mature mentality. So it's just finding somebody on the same mentality as you, or with the same type of like goals as you of where they want to be in life. Yeah. But if you keep going back to people who are still acting childish or don't have the mentality to progress, you're gonna keep finding yourself in like that bad scenario, and I feel like that's what drags people to think, oh, they're all the same. Well, you're sticking to the same group. You're not coming out of that group. You're not trying to improve yourself. Yeah. You're not looking for better either. You're just comfortable where you're at. So that's why it hasn't really changed my mentality. Obviously, I'm always working, so I can't really go find me better right now. But yeah, no, I know that eventually I'll probably will find somebody with a better mentality and everything. But right now it's hard with working 2 jobs and then being a full-time mom. So.
Right. No, definitely appreciate that. Yeah, definitely. So you gonna switch gears away from like ask you all these questions, but I got this.
Sorry, I was actually gonna ask.
Go ahead, man. Sorry.
So I think it's important to talk about financials, for single mothers out there, because it's like one of the toughest things for single mothers that don't have support from parents, from the other parent, and it's just they feel like alone. They feel alone. They feel helpless, and they feel they're all by themselves and everything. Do you financially, do you recommend any sort of plans? Do you have any like programs that really help you out? Anything that
well, sadly I don't qualify for any of those, but I have, because I have friends tell me, oh, do this. If she has public aid, she qualifies, or they'll do half price and this, and I'm like, she doesn't have public aid. Like, she's insured through my job. She doesn't have Link. And they're like, how come aren't you a single mom? Well, yeah, but according to the government, I make more than enough to support me and her. So I'm like, there are resources out there, but sadly, I just don't qualify for one of them. So I feel like if they do qualify for them, obviously take advantage of it, use them, do it, and it takes a village. It really does. It takes a village. So that village doesn't necessarily always have to be family. It could be close friends.
Yeah.
Like I said, at first, my family wasn't as supportive. And I had close friends of mine who, till this day, for her birthday or stuff like that, they'll show up for her. So they were there for me. And they're still there for me and for her. They still check in on us. So, yeah, it really does take a village. Obviously, you got to learn how to manage your money. You really do. If you don't qualify for it, you got to learn how to put at least $5, $10, $20 aside. For me, I wasn't always able to have her in gymnastics. For a time when I was doing good and my job was like crazy overtime, I had her in gymnastics, swimming, basketball, ballet, all at once. So it was a lot of running around. But I was glad that I got to the point where I was able to invest in her, because knowing me, if I'm tired, I'm gonna be in my bed. So So I said, no, I don't want to just be working, and then, not really spending time with her. So I'm like, let me invest in her right now that I'm able to, like, after, I was able to have that extra money. And she likes me going to her practices. She'll look back at me, give me a little thumbs up if she thinks she did good, or she'll be like, she'll ask for that, like, confirmation. So obviously don't feel discouraged if right away you can't do it, like, because obviously we all have our ups and downs. Sometimes I'm over here like cracking my fingers like, oh my god, am I gonna be able to do it this month, like, can she stay in it? Well, that's actually where I'm at right now with her advancing to potentially being able to enter those pre-teen classes. It's more money, so I'm over here, I'm trying to figure out right now if I'm gonna be able to afford that.
Do you plan a lot? Sorry, I didn't even know. Like, do you plan financially, like, a lot of your income, or is it just?
Every check, I write down, okay, this goes to this goes to, and then I check how much I have left over. From that, I put $20 in her savings, $20 in my savings. I try to do it, and then sadly sometimes, my check's not that big, so I can't put the money in our savings, but when I do have that extra money, I try to make up for it and put twice as much, to catch me up from when I wasn't able to. But you got to start somewhere, even if it's $5, whether it's bi-weekly, weekly, monthly. Like, just because one person does one thing doesn't mean you have to exactly do the exact same thing. You got to start wherever you can, where it doesn't really affect you or your bills. So, like, for someone out there, if they can't afford to put $20 every check, don't do $20. Do $5 or do $20 a month. Whatever you can, but try to stay consistent with that amount.
Consistency.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Any small amount.
Yeah, it's gonna add up.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I know we said that we're gonna stop asking, but this is just one of the last ones I just want to ask. Because the point of this podcast is just to help our viewers, just help them with like some struggles, just to see if like they're like, oh, like these people could be struggling with the same thing as like I'm going through. I just need some help and everything. So
whatever advice we could help.
Right.
With.
So what advice would you give to single mothers that I mean I'm not trying to say that they all start off young, but like because I just personally think that it's the new norm now. There's a lot of single mothers out there, especially that start at such a young age, unfortunately. They might be going through like some struggles. What would you, as a single mother, what would you tell those people, like, just some tips about it?
Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I'm very prideful. I am. So it takes a lot for me to be like, hey, I need your help. I'm very prideful, but I've learned to bite my tongue sometimes and be like, all right, suck it up. You need the help. Ask for it. Don't take advantage of that either. Like, whether it's financial that you're asking for help, whether it's $20, $500 or whatever, don't take advantage. Don't be abusive. And as soon as you're able to pay that back, pay it back. Because you never know if you're gonna need that help again, and then people are gonna get tired of helping if you're taking forever to pay it back, or if you're not communicating like, hey, I'm not gonna be able to give you the whole thing right now. Can you give me another extra week or my next? Like, you gotta communicate it, but definitely don't be afraid to ask for help. And if you have a good friend that can help you, even better, because if you need to sleep. If you just need time away from your kid, whether it's dropping them off at your mom's, dad's, whoever you can trust with your kid, because it definitely gets to you mentally and you're very overwhelmed if you're always taking care of a newborn and don't have that free time to kind of like recollect yourself. So yeah, I didn't sleep with my kid. She was very colicky, so definitely don't be afraid to ask for help.
Well, that's good. I mean,
that's really good.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, hopefully our viewers can take it to that. So
for real. So So we definitely got like all the questions. 'Cause that was good. That was really good.
Next, you know, someone right here is just like, I got a question. And we're like, who was you?
No, so I wanted to like take you away, get you off the spot a little bit because you were great. Like you did good.
Oh no, you did amazing.
Yeah,
So.
did amazing. So this is a segment that I got. It's called J Hill's Food for Thought. And today ain't really like an advice thing. It could be advice, but it's more like another topic. I know me and Eric were just talking about it off air before. And you know, like it's kind of out of nowhere. And like I said, like me and Jose, we goof around about it, even though like he doesn't know what we're talking about. But it's like it's kind of like it's like what I'm about to say, like throw it out there, but it's like, you know, I think it does need to be addressed. It's already been addressed, but like can help somebody probably out there. But like we always goof around about like, you know, like porn and
Now
masturbation sessions and stuff like that.
We were. Did I not just say that? Just oh god.
Yeah. So
Freaking Jeremy, you're the one that started all this, man.
I didn't start all of this. Just goofing around, but I just wanted to like ask like your thoughts on it, like pornography and things of that nature. Like
I was gonna say, why are you talking to me now?
I thought we were going something specifically.
Specific, no,
I was like, you're asking me. I was like, yo, what? So I mean, like, what do you want me to like? I don't know how to answer that. I mean, I don't. What are you asking? Like,
spot. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
put it on the spot, but it's just like, you know, like, what are your thoughts on it? Like, you know, like, obviously, like, well,
To each their own.
to each their own.
guess so.
To each their own. But like, you know, I'll like start it. So like, in my opinion, like, you know, like I'm pretty sure like we've all seen it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no shame in that. Like,
Right.
anybody come for me, it's like, you know.
oh yeah,
I'm ready for it.
everybody's watched
But
porn. I mean,
everybody's watched it, but it's like, you know, like, it's like, in my opinion, like, we know, like, definitely know, like, it's not good for you.
oh right.
You know, like, I'm pretty sure everybody's seen it, like, young. Every guy or even girls out there, like, seen it young.
Mhm.
Like, you know, that may be their idea on, like, that's what real sex is, but it's not, you know.
Mhm.
So it's like, for me, it's like, yeah, like it's not good, you know, like it just puts that thought in your mind, like whenever you like look at a woman or anything, like they're just like more of just like an item more than like you just looking at them for like who they are.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean, like in
Oh,
that
okay.
nature.
I mean, for a second, I'm like, are you trying to say that I watched? I was like, I'm like,
addressing your point.
I was like, damn. I was like, hey, yo, what?
You just all grab them.
But
Pull up his phone.
is the
Clears out. But no, I guess honestly, I mean, just to answer that question, though, I mean, I agree with you 100%. I mean, I personally think that with porn, just with how it's going, I just think it just kind of ruins like the sexual pleasure between your partner. So what I mean by that is like, I mean, pretty sure all of us have seen it. There are some scenes where it just makes you think like, holy cow, can a human body do that? So it's like, it's true. So, but it's just like, I just feel like that's just what kind of ruins it. So it's like, I mean, from a guy's perspective, I could say it's like, oh, in this video, this girl did this. Can my partner do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, next thing you find out that like, oh, my partner can do that. Let's, I don't want to be with her anymore. I think it's kind of the same thing, even like, in the female sense as well too. I mean, I can't say it as well, but I'm pretty sure you can elaborate as well too. It's like, they'll see that, they'll be like, oh my God, a guy can do that to me. Why can't, but that's just what I'm thinking. But I don't know if that's really what it is. But the other thing as well too is that it just, you just said it perfectly. It kind of just puts like the perspective of just like how a woman should really look. I mean, in porn, what are some of the topics? What is it like,
Yeah.
like, I'm trying to remember like what it is. I mean, weren't we just talking? I mean,
He knows all the
oh yeah, totally. No, we were just talking about this last week. Remember how like you didn't know what was that one? The one with the bit like
Oh.
what was that called again? Or
Ebony.
no, it was something like white or something.
I can't.
No, I'm trying to remember. We were literally just talking about this last week. I'm trying. No, but I remember you were like, what the hell does that mean? It's Pog. That's what it is.
Oh.
Yeah, Pog. That's what it is. Fat ass white girl. There we go.
Oh,
Yeah, I was like, I remember we were just. So it's like, it's like specific categories like that. So it's like in perspective like that, they'll be like, I mean, it's just like Johnson was saying. It's just we don't like with guys. They'll be seeing like just like how they want their how they want their woman to look, be like, oh, if my significant other doesn't have a quote unquote, a fat ass or all this other stuff, is just kind of just ruins the the dynamics into it. So.
Yeah. Anything you wanna elaborate?
Sure, man. I mean,
I feel like what you're trying to do is just be like, yeah, these guys watch porn. So it's like.
I think relatively it's pretty. It's the new norm, I want to say. It's the most viewed thing of all time in the internet. Like, you can't deny it. It's, I mean, it's okay to be sexually interested and, curious about other people's bodies. And, porn, it's, in a way, it's normal, but to a certain extent. I've kind of tried to strain away from that because in some sort of way, kind of going off about how kind of going off of what you were talking about, it creates these sort of illusions that these people are, specifically, like women's bodies are like perfectly symmetrical, and guys, they have huge.
I love how you just looked at him.
I mean, I was like, oh my god, sure. But yeah, it creates insecurities for all, and it can, a lot of it can just become sort of damaging to the brain, to the person's mind, because it's you're thinking that you're not good enough, that you don't have, that you're not
capable
enough. Sort of. Oh, that's a lot of insecurities, and it's like Jose said, it's porn is specifically made with people to create like an illusion, and that's not what sex is. In sex, in real life, there's and flaws. There's people that have insecurities about their body, and you just kind of have to work with the other person. Consent is important, to know what they like, what they don't. If you saw something in pornography that was just very weird and you wanted to try it out, I mean, sure, go ahead, but don't expect it to be
the same outcome.
Right, of course. I mean, of course, there's no going to be like, stepbrother, I'm stuck. There's not going to be no stuff like that. Or, I mean, I don't know. It's just, I guess, like.
Not only that, they're paid actors. They're professionals at doing certain activities.
Yeah.
Real people aren't always open-minded to do some of those stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Or, able to, because I'm sure you guys been with different girls and know what girls feel more flexible than others, or their insides are bigger than others. Like it's different for everybody, and like how you said, consent. The other person needs to consent to it, but then also be able to tell you when to stop. Because it might be pleasure to you, but it might not be pleasure to her.
Right. And it could also be the opposite.
Vice versa,
too, so, I mean, it's. But I mean, it's literally just like Eric said. It's just all an illusion, and I think that's what kind of really damages relationships nowadays too. It's just, they'll be like, I mean, from a guy's perspective, they'll be like, oh, I saw it on this, but you don't want to do it, so it's like.
Kind of how it wraps up into social media too. It's just it's all online, and it just creates that everything else in your little phone, in your own little. It's a little world. Your little world in your phone that makes it seem as though yours is not
Yeah.
same, which is
And you know, that's the reason like why I want to bring it up, because it's like, you know, you see it everywhere on social media now.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like you got kids, you know what I mean, like young, like, you know what I mean, and it's like that scares me because, you know, I got nieces and nephews, you know what I mean, and it's like I don't want them to get that in their head, like, you know, this is what that is, and it's like, nah, like
I actually don't let my nieces and nephews or my kid watch YouTube unless I'm in the room.
Yeah.
One, because I have older nieces and nephews. So whatever they watch at home, what their parents let them watch or get into, that's in their household. But if it's something that I might not approve of my daughter watching just yet or knowing just yet, I don't want her exposed to it, you know? So my nieces, one of my nieces, I hate to say it, but she loves watching all those like dance challenges and everything. She's still young, and to me, I don't think it's right for her to be trying to dance the way these grown ass women are dancing, you know?
Yeah.
But that's just me. To everybody their own, you know? And me, I don't like it because my daughter tends to want to copy her a lot, you know? And obviously my daughter's a lot younger than her. So to me, it's just like, cut it out. We ain't doing that here. I'm not dumb or anything. I know eventually she's gonna know this stuff or, you know, cuss. And I cuss a lot. I do. I'd be lying if I didn't. So, my daughter knows a lot of those bad words, but she don't say them. And if someone else says them, she'd be like, ooh, mom. Or even when I say, she's like, ooh, you said a bad word. I'm like, I did. I'm a mom. I'm allowed to say it. You know, because, I mean, realistically, she's going to get to the age where she's even going to say them.
Yeah.
But it's just...
saying it with friends and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, I'm not going to, like, be, oh, no, you can't, you know, like, put her in a bubble type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, not be too overprotective.
Right.
Almost.
But to me, it's just
really
like, as
control
long
that.
as she knows the right time or okay times to use them type of thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so...
Yeah, actually, I liked what rapper Ice Cube actually said when he was raising his kid. You know, he was a gangster rapper, so obviously, you know, he's not gonna be able to kind of like
hide it.
He's gonna like
right.
He's you know cursed a lot. He said a lot of inappropriate stuff, and you know he had like what some would say inappropriate upbringing or whatever. So now his kid is growing up and he's asking like about his kid, like about his dad's life and everything. And he curses. He was like saying this in an interview. He was like cursing and everything like that. And he told him like I don't care what you do. Like you can curse all day long. Just don't do it in front of an adult, because he's not gonna be able to stop him, but he can at least control him. Like, or at least teach him. To when to do it appropriately.
Right.
You know, like how you said, friends are gonna do whatever the heck they want.
Yeah, I mean, eventually she's gonna. We all been there where we're at a friend's house or hanging out with friends at school, recess, whatever, and someone gets mad and cusses. You know, like, I mean, it's gonna happen. Realistically, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But at least my daughter already knows those words and knows that she shouldn't be saying them. Now, if she says them right now, she do get in trouble.
Right. So it's like you're just educating her.
Yeah, because I mean, I do. My daughter does have consequences for all her actions, whether they're good or bad. So when she doesn't listen, she gets her Switch taken away. And then sometimes I forget to give it back. And then it's like 2 weeks straight of her being really good. And she'll ask me, like, can I get my Switch back? I'm like, oh, yeah. I forgot. You might want to charge it. But it's for every good thing she does get a reward. For every bad thing she does, she gets something taken away. One thing I taught her from a young age is I got tired of picking up her toys. So she knows that if I ask more than 3 times, they go in the garbage and she ain't getting them back. So now she doesn't wait that long and she'll start picking them up. Sometimes she'll shove them all underneath her bed and be like, my room's clean. Like, no. But yeah, no, she learned already, like, okay, if I don't listen, I'm going to get in trouble. So, and I will say I do believe in spanking, but when necessary,
Yeah.
not for any little thing and not beating your kid.
Man.
So
Yeah.
It's like I don't know if y'all saw my face. I'm pretty sure he's gonna zoom in my face. It's like.
I mean, because sometimes they do need to get spanked.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Honestly, kids don't.
They're assholes.
They can get out of line sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do think a good whooping will get to him.
Some
man.
people don't learn with words, just with actions.
Just actions,
unfortunately.
honestly.
Yeah.
So.
And I get it. Some, like, all those parents, oh no, gentle parenting. No, that only works if your kid is a gentle kid.
Mm.
That's the only way that's gonna work.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean,
And like I said, I'm not saying you beat your kids or spank them for every little bad thing they do. Because I do the whole timeout thing, sitting in a chair, standing on the wall with her hands behind her back, you know. So I do other little, like, more, I guess, gentle parenting. But when necessary, I will spank her. Because, no, I'm not going to keep repeating myself. We're not going to keep having the same disagreement of you not listening. And I feel like it's worked for me because, I mean, with me, she still acts up sometimes at home. But, I mean, that's what kid doesn't act up with their own parents.
Yeah.
But when she's out with my mom or at my aunt's house, even my grandma's house in Mexico, and family members in Mexico that I haven't even seen in I don't know how long, but they know my daughter, they all talk about how well behaved she is. And then my mom sometimes is on the phone with my grandma, and my grandma hears me yelling at my kid, and my grandma would tell my mom, she'd be like, tell that lioness to stop yelling at her and this and that, you know? Because my grandma doesn't know that side of my daughter. She thinks my daughter is like this perfect little doll that just listens and sits on the couch.
Yeah.
Like, no.
I always say this when people always want to act up, even like in our age. I always I'll something to their face, but I'll be like, man, I can tell when you were young, you never got a whooping. You know, I'll always say that because it's because you can tell. I mean, it's just man, I can. I mean,
spoiled.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, shit. I mean, the way I learned. I mean, I kid you not. I mean, a little confession. When I was younger, I used to flick off. I used to throw the middle finger. Y'all want to know what my dad would always do whenever I would do that? He would always have me go like this and hit me with a freaking ruler.
Oh.
And at the end of the day, I was still flick him off.
Because you didn't learn. He didn't give you that good ass.
So literally, that's literally how I learned. So I was just like, because I mean, in all honesty, I mean, if he didn't even do that, he'd be like, you know, I probably would have still done it. I mean, now I know what it means, and I mean, sometimes like I'll even like doing like, I mean, even with these guys, I'll be like, hey guys, F you, or you know, but obviously it's like, you know, we're friends. But
and that's like you guys are joking around, but you're not really insulting each other.
Exactly. So, you know, that was just one of the biggest things too. So it's like, I just think that, I mean, you just said it perfectly. Well,
it's like I said, like even me with my friends sometimes we'll call each other the B word, but you know, like we don't mean it in a bad way.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like obviously she's gonna learn those words, and she's gonna learn when it's appropriate to use them,
right,
and when it's not. But yeah, no, I do believe sometimes they need a good whooping. That's all it takes.
Good old ass whooping. So.
Yeah.
But.
No, yeah. Anything else to?
I like how we went from porn to.
I know. I was gonna say, how did we go from porn to ass whooping?
Hey, it's all the same.
It's all the same.
Put it in the same. But no.
And then I guess, hey, there's ass whooping. I guess, literally.
But, no, I thank you guys for like speaking your opinions on it, even though it was like, you know, kind of out there. But thank you for being adults. And us
our inner kids,
yeah, inner kids too.
Hey, if anybody paid attention to the last episode, we did say we have R-rated minds.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
So we'll use that for next time.
Yeah.
Did I just break the fourth wall?
I don't know.
I think I did. I just went like this. So.
No, so the last question I gotta ask, well, I already told these two about it. I'll definitely ask you about it too, but put it in like in a different way. But this is like, I think in my opinion, it's like a pretty big question, right? Like, yeah, I mean, you know. So I'll just get right to it. So the big question I wanted to ask you three, and then, you know, I'll chime in on it too. So, would you date or commit to a woman or man who already has children?
So, it's funny that we're talking about this because I actually just had this conversation with my sister yesterday. Honestly, just, the beautiful thing about life, a lot of things could happen. You never know, if you're truly committed to this one person, you'll want to give it, a shot.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't believe in that whole entire, you have a kid, I'm not going to be with you, because it's like, don't shame the man or the woman. That's like, because I just think it's just downright wrong to just shame them about that. But I mean, I would just give it a shot. And again, like I said, that's the beautiful thing about life. You never know what could happen, what couldn't happen. I mean, I have family members that got with some significant others that have kids, and eventually, by being together by a certain amount of time, they might want to start a family with that, and just to stay committed about that. So I mean, to answer it with mine, I would say, like, I can't say if I will or if I won't. The best answer I can just say is whatever life takes me. You never know. I mean, I could say, oh yeah. I mean, right now my mindset is like, I just said it in the beginning. I have a bucket list of things I want to do before I turn 30. I'm sticking to it, but again, the beautiful thing about life, a lot of things could happen. You never know. 2 years from now, I mean, knocking on wood, but I could be committed to something. You never know. It's it's not just with me. Us three, even our cameraman too, could stay committed as well too. It's just the way I see it. It's just we'll just see where life takes you.
Right.
For me, the simple answer is yes. The complicated one is depends. So, yeah, I mean, I see no reason to not date a woman even if she has kids. It's just, it depends on how mature, how responsible, how well their relationship is honestly with with the child's father, if I'm being honest. Because I think I think this might be
You don't want none of that baby mama, baby daddy drama.
Basically.
yeah. I think there comes when you have a child, you need to maybe it's a little unfair, but I think you need to be more responsible, more mature than the average whatever person you're dating, like age range you are. So I'm 25. If a girl, has a kid that's 24, 25, around my age, I expect her to be a little bit more mature, like age range, like 35, 40, age mentality to like want to settle down, to not have.
Might not want to put an age number on that.
Yeah,
though.
well, I mean that's
because a lot of people, even
mature wise,
older than me, yeah.
I think people know what I mean by that, but like, yeah, no, like for sure 35. And I'm not saying that they're all 35 and 40-year-olds are mature. But like,
Cool, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maturity wise, I expect them to be more.
Yeah.
Because if I'm want to be seeing somebody with the mentality that I'm in, with right now, it's more just because they have a kid to be responsible of. I expect them to learn from what they learned from their child experience and adapt that to their life. Because if they're just still kind of having that sort of party life, their young mindset and blowing off money, it's like, okay, well, if this is happening even with the child and I want to settle down with them even in the future, it's like, why am I going to waste my time waiting for them when I want to be with them right now? Like, and there's no guarantee that they're going to mature early, like later on in the years.
Yeah.
If you're with them, even if you're to try to be with them. But that's just for me. If I do meet a woman that is very mature, very responsible, and we hit it off, and she wants me to meet her child, it's like, okay, yeah, no, I mean, I like you enough that I want to be involved in this kid's life, but but I also want you to pick up the pace, not just be the father,
Right.
the stepdad, to take care of all the slack that's going on in your life and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's why in the guy's perspective, there's that little quote. There's just like, oh, it's a trap, man. Get out. It's like, I mean, it's a joke, but it's true. I mean, it's just, I mean.
Yeah, and no, I mean, in all honesty, it does depend also how well the relationship is with the kid's father, because you could be very well in touch with this person, and things are heading up well, but they still have some sort of unresolved feelings with them. You don't know their relationship. They might catch that spark again later on in the future, and you don't know, and you don't want to be that little. You don't want to be the cause of them not getting back together, because I think your child will also resent you, and the other person will also hold sort of a grudge against you, and then you would have to deal with that. So that's just my opinion for all that. So like I said, simple answer yes, but complicated answer depends.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. When it comes to me, I'm the same. Like, I have two sides. So, well, first I'm gonna start off kind of like not like negative, but this is just my opinion, because it's like I feel like at the end of the day, you gotta put yourself first in certain situations.
Yeah.
So when it comes to me, I have to say it's a sense of no, only because it's like I always thought like having like my own kid, like come for me, like my DNA and everything, like because it's like you want to like leave a legacy on this world, you know what I mean, like it makes sense. And
That's fair.
yeah, I would say like I had to think about it for a while, but it's true, like like I would definitely want to like have my own my own woman, like this is the woman that I chose to have my kid with, I got to at least have that say so.
Yeah.
And
I mean, in that scenario, as long as the single mom is open to having more kids, you could still have that as a possibility.
Yeah.
That's gonna lead towards another question I have, but obviously we're just gonna focus on this one. So
yeah, and then the other part is like I think I would be able to like date and commit to a woman, but it would have to be the same as Eric, like like her being mature, us, like you said earlier, communicating, but also like I would kind of have to say like I know like there's expectations when you're dating a woman who already has kids, but like the expectations of like don't make me move too fast to like try to like do like daddy duties, what I mean?
Well, at the end of the day, a real mom is not going to push that responsibility on the boyfriend.
Yeah.
Because for one, if you can't push him to do something and your kid to feel like, oh yeah, this is my new dad.
Yeah.
Because you also got to let the kid warm up to the person.
Yep.
And like a real mom is not just going to be like, oh yeah, that's daddy or stepdaddy or whatever. Like, no, like first you got to make sure your kid is comfortable enough to even consider this person as a dad, a stepdad, a father figure, whatever, before you can even joke around with like, oh, look at daddy doing his, daddy duties type of thing.
yeah, so I feel like it's just gonna take its time. That's literally all it is. You can't really just like force it right away.
Yeah.
And it's just like, first day be like, yeah, you're my new stepdad, or you're this, or what's that one meme? It's just like, you're not my dad.
Oh, the video that he's like, oh, look at daddy fixing her bike or something like that. That's not my daddy.
He's like, you're not my dad.
Next thing you know, you just see me coming in and nothing but underwear on in the kitchen. You're like, nah, that's moving too fast. But no, I was gonna go right into that, like, I was gonna say that, like, don't just like push me too fast for expectation. It's like, let me come in as a friend. Like, like I'm a friend as a mom. Like you probably see me around here and there.
Which it should be like that. It should be someone that they slowly start to see a little bit more and more and more and more until they even stop. They'll even ask like, "Is he your boyfriend?"
Yeah.
Like get them
Right.
curious of like why he's coming around so much. Are you guys something, you know, because the kids' feelings, emotions matter in it. Because like how you said, they will resent.
Yeah.
So obviously you might like the person might like you, but if the kid's resenting, it's gonna cause problems.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it definitely, you gotta start slow and slowly, you know, ease your way in there.
Definitely. And then, you know, that'll be another thing, like, you know, as they get used to me, you know, then I'll want to sit down with them and be like, you know, like, do you like me? Like, how do you feel about me being with your mom? Like, would you like me to be around more? You
Yeah.
know, then, you know, we'll proceed from there on. And, you know, if they wanted to be, you know, like, that's the kid's choice. You know, it's really about the kid. Like, you know,
And sometimes without even having that conversation, you will know because of how that kid greets you when you come in. So like sometimes that conversation is really not needed, because like if you come in and they run to you like, oh my god, hey, you know, then you already know that kid's kind of accepting you. That kid enjoys being around you.
Right.
And say, I like that you said that, because it just shows like true like maturity into it. Because I mean, I'll be honest, most guys nowadays are not even gonna want to do that. They're just gonna want to do with the quote unquote, what is it, like hit it and quit it or whatever. So no, I mean that's really like smart right there. It's just I mean, for any people that just want to do that too, it's just, you know,
To
just
each their
talk
own.
you know, just, you know, obviously like once you get to know it, just talk to them, just be like, hey, you know, like how do you feel that, you know, I'm seeing your mom, I'm doing this, you know, do you like me in this? Because I mean, you said it perfectly. I mean, even in my other job, that's one of the biggest things I always get, and especially when it comes to like just children just not liking their, you know, their quote unquote stepdad, their stepmom, and it just creates problems right there. So I mean, Johnson said it perfectly. Just start off with the kid, have the kid slowly start accepting you. And I guess like the other thing I could also say too is like, you know, if the kid doesn't accept it, I mean, but you know you do, just
I mean, it also depends on the kid's age. Because if they're little, it's going to be a lot easier for you to win them over than if they're more like 10, 12, 13 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Then that's when that conversation really wouldn't be needed.
And, you know, I think, like, you know, when you get, like, with a woman who already has an older kid, you know, and he already knows, like, what it is, I think that's when you kind of, that's when you can really sit down with that kid and be like, you know, like, hey, like, you know, like,
I like your mom,
yeah, like, you know, I'm not trying to, like, you know, like, push on to be your dad. That's if you don't want me to. You know, like, and that's cool, you know, but I just need to let you know, like, you know, like, I'm seeing your mom, she likes me, you know, like, I like you, you know, you seem like a cool kid, you know, like, if you don't want me to see your mom, or you...
Because you also got to let them know that you're not trying to, like, if their dad's involved in their life, you got to let them know you're not trying to replace him.
Right.
But you're also willing to be there like a second, you know,
like
parent.
A mentor or somebody to come to, you know?
Because obviously it all depends if the other parent is involved.
Yeah.
If, you know, if they know their other parent. Because they probably was involved at one point, they probably wasn't, they probably only knew them as toddlers, you know, like, it depends. Every scenario is different, so depending on the age and what scenario they're in. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
For me, no, that's just ghetto. No, I'm just playing.
We are in Seaville, so.
No, I'm just playing.
But yeah, no, I mean, no, that was, I mean, we all answered it perfectly. I mean, but the next.
Our own opinions.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean. You know, it's just like we've said in the beginning. You know, we're gonna say our opinions. I mean, most of our reviewers may disagree with it, but I mean, we've said it. I mean, we've said it in the beginning. You know,
you ain't gonna make everybody happy. So.
Exactly.
And you never know. In the future, our opinions might change. You know, like you just said, like in 2 years, it might be committed. You know, it might be something different.
Exactly.
Even with some of your viewers, they might be saying disagreeing with something that you're saying, and then end up in that same exact scenario and doing exactly what they said they wouldn't be doing.
And that's when you got to go back and watch this episode. Because I told you so. We told you so.
And make sure you let them know. They take a screenshot.
I take donations.
Hey, you know what I just realized? By you doing that, that's already a meme right there. Hey, actually, I've been curious. Like, I kind of wanted to do that just for like future things. Just be like, oh, like just have a contest. Just be like, hey, get some of the viewers like to participate. Be like, hey, whoever makes this best meme gets this. So I mean, hey, that could be something right there. So
Maybe when the cash starts rolling in more.
that too. So all we can just afford is just some McChickens. That's all we can just do.
Right.
But anyways, back to the what we were talking about. I like that we're having this type of conversation because the next question I wanted to ask is like, I mean, it's just like Jocelyn said like not too long ago. She was just like, if you want to have something, you just said it perfectly. You want to leave a legacy. Your significant other is gonna let you do it. If you were to actually be like, I mean, I'm just creating a scenario. Like, say if you're a single father and you get some.
Raising one right now.
I was like, that caught me off guard for a second. I was like, what? You're a single father, and you meet with someone, and say your significant other says, oh yeah, I want to be with you, but I just don't want to have because me personally, if I'm gonna be with a significant other, I want to have a kid with them.
Yeah.
For you personally, like if your significant other were to say like, oh, like you already have a kid of your own.
Yeah.
And your significant other says like, oh, I just don't want to have
any more kids or any kids. Yeah.
Any more kids with you because you already have a kid of your own. Well, what would you do in that specific scenario?
I think well, first off, I would have to respect her opinion because she's a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So only females can birth
mm-hmm.
kids. So definitely gotta respect her body and her opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're talking about legacy, yeah, definitely probably would want to have more kids. Then I would probably just have to move on.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like I said, I'm trying to have
right.
more kids and
mm-hmm.
have a legacy. Not in that way of legacy, multiple kids, but have a good amount of kids. Where I know they're gonna do good things in this world and they're gonna
mm-hmm.
keep carrying on the name and stuff. But
mm-hmm.
I would definitely have to just move on because you're saying in a sense if she doesn't want to have kids and I already have my own, that means basically it kind of raises the question does she even like kids or
what if she was open to a surrogate mom?
A surrogate?
Okay. Maybe she doesn't want to have kids herself or she can't have kids because sometimes we as women either as we get older our eggs go bad or health conditions that doesn't allow them to carry a kid. Maybe she's had miscarriages, so what if she came to you with that and then would surrogate or adoption or any of that change your mind of wanting to leave this person or stay with her?
That's what I was about to ask, and I'm kind of glad you said that too, because that was going to be the next thing I was going to bring up. Because, I mean, it's you just never know. I mean, it's just. I mean, you said it perfectly. It's just obviously it's the woman's right. The woman is gonna be the one that's gonna, has control over that. But no, I mean, what would you do in that sense? So.
I never really even thought about that, having a surrogate. I've seen people do it. You even see people do it.
I heard they make money, so I might be looking into that pretty soon.
Well, unless we're Nick Cannon, so. By the way, speaking of that, did you all hear why he actually did that? Because I guess apparently if you have 20 or a certain amount of kids, you don't have to pay for child support or something like that. At least that's what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not.
I'm pretty sure with what he makes, that rule probably does not apply to him.
Yeah. Probably right, but I mean.
Yeah.
But who knows? Because I don't even have that. But
but the surrogate thing, I haven't really put thought into that because I've seen that happen. You've seen it in movies or you've just seen it in real life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, first off, I think you definitely got to have the money to do that. Because that is asking a lot from somebody who you don't know. Obviously you're going to get research and health information, everything about her, but it's just it's somebody who you really don't have a connection really with.
You do know you can ask somebody you know personally to do that, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be a complete stranger.
I mean, I knew that and I didn't think about that too, but it's just it's that person personally, but it's not you actually knowing your significant other. Like, you're laying
Yeah.
down in bed with this person every day, and you know you've already had an idea of like this and that, and it's like kind of like now you're just gonna like give your DNA to, even if it is somebody who you personally know, but it's just like they probably didn't really even have the intention on it, but you threw money their way, and they're like, hey, like, you know, money talks, like, let's do it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, maybe I do need to think about that more, but
Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask that, because it was like, I mean, it's just, I mean, we just said it in the beginning, you know, it's like our opinions could change, but, you know, we just have to give a bit more, like, explanation to it.
The opinion and the scenario.
Correct. So it's like,
because I'm pretty sure if he found like the perfect girl for him that he thought was the perfect girl,
mm-hmm.
but if she had a health condition,
Right.
I'm sure he's not gonna leave her just because she can't, you know.
Exactly.
So
yeah, I mean, and again, it's just like I said, that's the beautiful thing about life. You never know what's gonna happen.
then you have adoption too.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Adoption. I don't know how everybody feels about that. Because, you know what I'm saying, you seen like those scary movies where people adopt kids.
Jesus.
Find out they...
What's that one scary movie? The
Orphan?
Yeah, Orphan. Yeah, that's the one with that one girl with the blue dress, right?
I don't know if she had on a blue dress, but she had on a dress, and to find out she was like way older than
Yeah.
what she was supposed to be. She was like 35 or something.
Like dwarfism.
Yeah, dwarfism.
me personally, if I had the money, I would adopt. Why bring another kid into this world when there's kids already here waiting for a loving home?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, my sister actually worked with orphans, I guess. Yeah, it was like I forget what it's called, the specific name.
A foster.
Yeah, a foster. For the most part, unfortunately, that they will be having a lot of issues. I think that's
Yeah.
one of the things that's because obviously being orphans,
Well, yeah, who wouldn't
Yeah.
have issues if they're going home to home to home to home?
Yeah, the thing about it is more like they will be coming home from like very unfortunately, depends obviously which area, but a lot of them come from like messed up families, sexual assaults,
Yeah.
parents were drug addicts, and it creates even more of a
Not
issue.
only that, there's people who, like, I guess, foster and are only doing it to collect that money.
Yeah.
So they're not really getting the emotional or physical or mental help or nurture that they're actually seeking because they're only a check to
Yeah.
majority. And that's why I definitely like to each their own. If they want to abort, only your scenario.
Yeah.
And only if you're actually strong enough to go through it and have this kid and take care of this kid. Because whether you abort or not, that's a decision that you're going to have to live with the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, if you don't want to abort, but you want to give up your baby for adoption, all right, well, best the luck to the baby that doesn't end up in a messed up situation. And hopefully they find, loving parents who want a kid, who can't have a kid type of thing. But in this real world, that doesn't always happen.
Yeah. I guess what I was kind of going into is more like, don't expect that just because you adopt them, that their life is now perfectly, they're saved or something like that. Like, you have to put into, keep in mind that they're going to need a lot of effort because now they don't have trust. Like, they don't trust in adults.
It also depends in the age that you adopt.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah,
if you adopt from a baby, all they're gonna know is you.
Yeah.
Then if you adopt a kid that's a little older who's already been in a home or in different foster homes, so it's definitely something to really think about and like ask about if that's the option that they're going at, because it's not gonna be easy.
Yeah. I like your guys just.
Yeah. He just came back for the camera.
It's our fan.
Yeah.
We're doing something right.
Yeah. So, got anything else?
Anything else, Luigi?
Else you guys want to get off your chest?
No, I mean, I'm pretty sure we what do you say?
Well, let's see. That's a whole therapy session.
Okay.
No, I mean.
No, I mean, honestly, we pretty much covered everything. I mean, it's.
Well, I mean, there's definitely more questions to go about. Just being, it's not just all these questions. Being a single mother. Oh, we know that. All the questions.
Well, right. But what I'm trying to say though is like we just like already like discussed like what we got off our chest. Obviously, you know, like there's gonna be more that, you know, obviously once this is over, we're gonna be like, darn it, we should have asked it here. But it's just at the moment, you know.
But it's always can always be asked in another episode.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean,
we got from what we can't talk about this forever.
Yeah.
right, of course.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But yeah. So I guess that's it. And yeah, we appreciate you, Jocelyn, for
yeah, absolutely.
joining us for our second episode. Definitely some good information. A lot of things I didn't know, and a lot of things I definitely need to put into like my own understanding and perspective. But I would definitely like to say, like, you know, I think all of us would definitely agree. Like, we appreciate you. Appreciate you giving this advice not only to us but to viewers who could be single mothers or single fathers. Could be the other way around. And definitely appreciate everything you do. Keep going. God bless.
You got this.
Continue being there for your daughter. You know, take your time if you want to date or not, but you know, just you and her, that relationship is definitely gonna get stronger. And when she gets older, definitely like appreciate you for all of this. So definitely salute to you.
Appreciate you coming over.
Absolutely. I mean, if you wanna leave your social media to the public as well, so that way they can, you know, just see.
Yeah.
If not, you can always just off air, just give it to us, and we'll probably put it in the description on our Instagram page.
Yeah. For
Definitely follow us on Instagram at the Plan Podcast, right? Definitely.
I think I did start doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And also, we didn't say in the beginning, we also appreciate the people who are a part of like getting the podcast together. Like obviously us three, but also like Miguel Reyes for the intro song. Gotta give a shout out to Crystal for the logo. We still gotta put that up. We had some difficulties with it, but I think we got it together now. But and
shout
also
out to our cameraman.
Oh yeah,
shout
of
out
course.
to Eric.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He just grabs it and just turns.
Right.
But
yeah.
no, I mean, it's just like I said in the last episode. I mean, it's just we're starting off. We're just gonna work our way up. Eventually, as the time comes, we'll look at this and we'll be like, "Wow, look at that!"
Yeah.
You know, that's always the beautiful thing about it. So
You know.
I'm gonna be like, who this?
Right.
you'll be like, "Dang, I look like that."
Yeah.
Right.
I'll be like,
they did me bogus.
Right. It's like, yo, camera does us no justice. You gotta see us a real person, right?
then they'll be like, "Man, I thought these guys were even like shorter or something." So, you know,
No, I think I'm the shortest one here.
But yeah, that wraps up everything for this episode. Again, make sure to follow us on Instagram and like and subscribe, leave a comment if you guys liked, and we'll definitely see you guys in the next episode.
yeah, and definitely, I mean, if you all like this one, I mean, you know, Jocelyn will be very open to talk about this again too. So
Yeah, or anything. You know me, I speak my mind.
She's more than just a single mother. She's got something else going on, right?
Oh, you know, just more than 40 hours a week of working and then activities. Nothing I can handle.
she's just like, yeah, and then she knows she's like, just. But yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah, you guys. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
muchos thank
See you
you.
guys.
We still
We
haven't
need
even
to
we
outro.
still haven't even caught up with our we still haven't even done our catchphrase.
Yeah,
We're not doing the one that you did last week.
What was the catchphrase?
I don't even remember.
You're the creator. How the hell did?
Something about the plan. Stick it.
Stick it to the people.
The fact that he said it not. Well,
Well, until then, we don't have
A sign off.
a sign off to
We're
give
still
you guys,
working on
but take care, everybody, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
peace.